Okay guys, welcome back to another episode of our game development series. Today we're going to be working back, or we're going to be going back to our space hopper game. We're not really going to be doing any programming today. I think we're going to be working on our our leaderboard. We're going to try and implement a local leaderboard into the game. In other words, the leaderboard is only going to be you're only going to be able to save data on your phone, so you won't be able to access other people's scores and stuff from other devices. Only people that play on your device or your computer, whatever you play in this game on, you will be able to save your score as long. How do I say this? You'll be able to save your score alongside your name, so you will match your score with your name eventually. So today we are going to jump into our game and we are going to start implementing what this is going to look like. So I haven't done any planning for this video, and I haven't actually implemented a leaderboard in a long time. But let's jump onto our display here and let's go and see if we can find some leaderboards that we want to try and replicate. But before we do that, let's go ahead and create a new scene. So I'm going to do this. I am going to go into our scenes folder, which is right here. And we've only got our sample scene, so I'm going to create a new scene wherever scene is. There it is. And this is going to be our leader. So this scene is going to house our leaderboard. So you'll be able to go in and out of the scene from the menu of the game. So whenever we play the game, we get a button that says play. Eventually we'll add in another button that says leaderboard and you can access the leaderboard. But where we're also going to add this is whenever you finish the game, so after you've played the game and you've got like your score and you fall off the platforms and you disappear off the screen and the game ends, we're going to pop up a menu that will allow the user or the player to input their name alongside their score and save it in. So after you press the save button and stuff, you will have the option to go to your leaderboard or continue playing the game. But for now, let's go ahead and open up our leaderboard scene, and obviously this is a blank scene, so it's got nothing in it. So before we start doing anything, I want to go and let's just go and put our game alongside our scene just so we can see what it looks like. It's quite small, so what I might do is I might move our hierarchy into here for now, just so that we can have these two alongside each other like that. So now in our scene we want to go and create a new UI. I think we're going to create a panel. So let's create a panel that will add a canvas automatically into our scene, so that's great. So now on our okay, so that's not going to work. So we are going to drag our hierarchy onto our project here. So we can access our panel or our hierarchy as well as our inspector here, and we can change some values. So now let's go ahead and change the color of this to let's just make it black for now, and then we'll pop the transparency up to 255 so you can't see through it. So now that we've got our black background, let's go back to Google and let's go do some research into what we want our leaderboard to look like. So leaderboard, what am I typing? Examples. So we just want a simple one. Let's go and say game leaderboard. So what do we want it to look like? We definitely don't, well, it would be nice if it looked like that, but that's a bit too much information. All we're going to have is our name and then a score. Well, a star and level, I don't know what that means. But let's try and look for, this is pretty much what we're going to have. A rank, so you're going to have, I think we will only show the top 10. If you make it into the top 10, you will be allowed to input your score. Otherwise, if it's less than all the values that are from 1 to 10, you're not going to be able to input your name and your score. So we could make it something like this. You have your rank, your team name, or your name in our case, and your points. Or it could be something like this with just your name and your score. Actually, I think I like this. I think we might do something like that. Let's have a look and see. No, something like that is probably nice as well, but I think I don't really know. For now, we will start off with something simple like this. So let's go and save this image. I'm just going to save this on my desktop, and I'll go and say leaderboard. So I'm going to close that up, and then I'm going to open this. So this is what we want it to look like. So let's put this over here. Actually, yeah, this doesn't need to be on the screen, so I'm going to pop this on my other screen over here, just so I can see it. And then let's go back into Unity here, so we can start creating this. So for now, I think we might even have to do some, like make some like backgrounds for this. But for now, let's go ahead and start. So what we want is we want to create now it's confusing me that my hierarchy is up here. But anyway, in our panel, let's go and create another. Is it we need a background, but I don't know if I want to put an image as a background or if we should just have a panel, another panel. Let's see, or image. For now, we'll set it as a panel, and later on we can change it, or we can just drag in our source image just so that if we want to add in a custom background image. But since our example one that we're using that we just got from the internet is very narrow, let's go ahead and resize this. So we want this to be something like that, and then I'm just going to zoom in here, so because we're only going to be working on this panel here, so we can go and do that. So let us make this a bit narrow like that, put that in the middle, and then the other one was blue, and I think the overall theme color of the game is also blue, so I'm going to make this blue as well. I don't know if you can do gradients in Unity, so if anyone knows that, please let me know. Or at least I don't know how to do them if it's possible. But anyway, let's go ahead and create some text. So on our panel, we want to add a title. We have a UI, there it is, UI text. This is going to be called our leaderboard, like that. And that we are going to put at the very, what am I doing? We are going to put that at the very top, so we'll go and make that bold probably. We will center that like that, both vertically and horizontal. And then I want to move this all the way to the top, but I want it to kind of overlap the edge of it, because eventually we will add in a background to this image. What am I doing? So why can't you resize it? There we go, like that. So this is going to be, actually, you know what, let's go ahead and add an image. So let's see if that works. UI image, can we change the color? Yeah, we can. So the color of this, we are going to make like a dark blue. Let's do that. Yeah, like that. So now we will make our text, or we'll swap these around. So we'll make our text a child of our image. And then actually, you know what, let's just redo this. So for our image, we will resize this like that, put that in the middle. And then for our text, we will go and reset that so it pops back into there. And then we can go ahead and resize it, or actually let's just go and make it the entire size of the our image. There we go. So now we can move our image, and whenever we resize our image, it should resize our text. Well, not the font size, but the like border of our text. So now let's go ahead and move this right up here, up to there somewhere, and I just want to change the background of our big panel to slightly lighter. So let's drag this up here somewhere like that maybe. Actually, I don't like that. Let's try, oh, that's why I need to make it full. We need to make the brightness full, and then we will make that slightly darker, so it's like a kind of like a more blue rather than turquoise color. So we'll do that. Actually, yeah, we'll make that like that. And then our leaderboard, I think we will also change the background over to a bit slightly lighter. Or let's do this rather. I think we'll leave it like that maybe. Actually, that's the same color. Okay, we'll make it a lot darker like that. Like I said, we might add, or we might change these backgrounds, I think, because I kind of like the gradient to that in example that we looked at on the internet. So I might make some pictures and actually drag and drop them into our source image here, just so we can get that gradient effect. But for now, we'll leave it as a solid color, and we will go ahead and add in. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to add a border around this. So, actually, I think we'll leave that for later. Let's just go ahead and set up the entry to our our leaderboard. So we're going to rename our text to title, and then we'll close that. So under our panel, we will create an empty game object, and we will call this entry, like that. And then underneath this is where we're going to put everything that we need for our leaderboard entry. So things we're going to have is probably a rank, I think we'll add. The next thing we'll add is a name. And the last thing we'll add is a score. All of these three things are just going to be placeholders for now. And then obviously when you add in your score, during gameplay, they will automatically be reassigned to the values that you get. So your name, your score, and your rank along the ranking system, wherever you rank. So let's go and do that. So in entry, let's go and create a... What are we going to do? I think we'll create an image, because obviously we want a background to this as well. So for this, we will... Actually, we'll reset that, and then on our entry we will move this up, and I'm going to zoom into here because now we're just going to be working on entry. And I can do the same thing with this, zoom in like that, and if I can reach it, so zoom in like that. So this is what we're going to be working on in this white square. So our entry, we want to change the width to kind of be the same as actually I want it to be the exact width of the leaderboard. So what's that? Image 385. So let's just go make this a round number of 400, like that. And then actually I'm going to change this. I'm going to make this probably a 200, and then I'm going to make our entry a width of 400. And then what I will do with our text is I will resize it down so that it fits in one line. And then I will change the height of our image to about 30. Actually, let's make about 40, like that. Cool. Actually, I think that's a bit too small. Anyway, I'm getting a bit carried away with how it looks, but if we do this first time, we won't really have to change it. So let's say 40 as a height is fine. The text size we want about 25 maybe. Let's say about 22. Yeah, that's fine. We'll leave that like that for now. And then for our entry now, let's go ahead and resize our image. So image size, we want it to be the full entry size. So just like that. And then obviously the height, we want to change that to about 50, maybe 65, actually 60, actually 55. Make it 55 like that. Okay, so now what we want to do is, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and change the color, or I'm just going to reduce the transparency, or probably put it at about 50%, which is over there somewhere. 255 or divided by 2, whatever that is, doesn't really matter. Okay, so in here, on top of our image, we want to, so as a child object of our image, we want to go and create a text. And this is going to be size 15. Actually, I'll make that 18. No, 16. Okay, so let's go center that both horizontally and vertically, and we'll give that a bold size, or font style of bold. We don't want it to be capital because we want the the ranking to be a number and letters, and we want the letters to probably be lowercase. So the width, we don't need it to be 200. Let's go and make it 50. Height, we'll leave it as 50. It needs to be slightly smaller than the image, which is or the entry, which is at 55, just so that it fits inside. So let's go and change this to first so we can see what that looks like. Cool. So now we want to anchor this onto the left. We also want to position it onto the left, and then we want to offset it by probably about 5, just actually 2.5, just so that it's kind of in the middle, like the border, or not the border, but the space between the outside of the box and the outside of the entry is kind of 2.5 each side. So that should be fine. What we want to do now is we want to do the exact same thing, which we could probably just copy and paste that. So let's go and rename this to rank. And then the next one is going to be our name. So say name, and that we will, for here we will just say player, and then we can go and move this over here somewhere. And because of the different length of the name, we want to make this a little bit long, so probably this is going to take up the majority of the width. So I think the width of our entire entry is 400, so we will go and make this about 300, I think. Actually, that's a bit too big. Let's go make it 250. Cool. So that's going to be the player, or the name placeholder. We'll leave it as bold. We will keep it as lowercase. Yeah, lowercase. What else do we want? We want it to be left aligned, and then also in the middle like that. So that's fine. It doesn't matter about the gap between the beginning of the letter and the outer box, because if you get rid of the boxes, and in gameplay this is what it's going to look like, so you won't really see that there'll be a gap there already. Okay, so the next thing we want is we want to put our score on the right side, so let's go and do that. So we could probably just copy, and actually I'm going to copy the rank because it's roughly the same size that we need. I'm going to rename it from rank to score, and then I will move this onto the right. I'll anchor it and position it onto the right. Then we will give it move it slightly to minus 2.5, so minus 2.5 like that, just so that it's the same distance away from the right as the rank is from the left. And then because our score will obviously be a number relatively small, because you're probably not going to get over 100, maybe you will, maybe some people will, but you probably definitely, I say that, but I hope you do, but you probably definitely won't get past 1,000. So let's go ahead and type 1,000 in there, and then we will resize. Okay, we need to resize it over here. So width, we will say, okay, let's do this quick. So entry is 400, rank is 50, name is 250, that's 300, so we've got 100 left. So 100, we probably want this to be around 80. Let's go 85. Yeah, that should be fine. Cool, so that's going to be our score. Although, does it look better if we right align? No. Okay, so we want it to be center aligned, just so that there'll be a gap on the left and the right, depending on if, in the unlikely case that you do get a really high score. But for now, we'll leave it like that. So that's pretty much a very simple version of what our leaderboard entry will look like. I just want to make this a little bit lighter, or a lot lighter, just like that, so we can just see the outline. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go and add in a button to the top of the leaderboard that will act as a back button and allow you to jump back into the game and continue playing. So let's go on our not on our entry, on our panel. So let's see, scroll, that's all fine. We'll close that, we'll close that. So on our panel, which is this one. Yeah, so on our secondary panel, let's go and add in a new UI button, wherever that is. Button, where's button? There it is. So now, for this one, we will... Actually, let's see if we can change the color. Can we change the color to... Yeah, we can. Okay, anyway, for the button, I will end up going and making a... What's it called? An actual background image, just because it will look better. But for now, let's go ahead and anchor it in the top left, top right, and then we will place it in the top right as well. What else do we want to do? We want it to be slightly offset. So what is the width of it? The height of it is 30. So we want it, the Y position, to be minus 15, or rather just 15. Therefore, it is exactly in the middle of the top of our the top of our leaderboard. So the same thing we want to do with the width of it. So the width is 160, so half of 16 is 8, if I'm correct. So half of 160 is 80, so we want to go and say 80. So that is going to place it right in the corner of our leaderboard, the top of it. So now the only thing we don't want is, we do not want a text field on it. So we could probably delete this, but because we haven't made our our image yet, so I'm gonna leave the text on it. I'm just gonna put an X in it for now. I'm gonna change the text color to white, like that, and then we obviously want to change the size of our button because it's way too big for that text. So we could probably say 50 maybe. We'll go 50 by 50 for our height, and our, actually let's go 75 by 75. That looks better for now. We want to make it circle, but now we're gonna have to change all of these. So position Y is going to be 35 by 35, so that's going to position it in the middle. No, I don't like that. I'm going to change this to a bit smaller. Let's say about 60 by 60, and then we'll make this 30 by 30. I still don't like that. Let's see what if we move it slightly down and in more. Is that better? Yeah, that's a little bit better. So we'll say 20 by 20. Just so that it's kind of offset. Actually, you know what? Let's make it 50 by 50. Rather 10 by 10. Wrong way. Okay, 15 by 15. Okay, that's it. That's what we want it to look like, kind of. We will make an image and replace that later on, but for now, that's what we're gonna do. In our text, we will make it slightly bigger so that we can see the X. Let's go make it about 30. And then we'll also make it bold. And then we'll make it 35. Like that. Okay, cool. So that looks a little bit better. That's fine for now. So let's see, what do we want? What I'm going to do, okay, so I'm going to move this up there, and then I'm going to rename this to back button, like that. And then on our entry, I think here, this might be fine for now. I think I'll have a look at and do some research into what else we need to do, but I think that's it for now. So this entry here, we're going to use as a placeholder or a template, and we are going to drag and drop these into our script using the inspector, and then using our script and code, we will automatically assign the values to these placeholders whenever a user inputs their score into the game after they've finished playing the game. So I think that's what we'll be doing in the next episode. So that is pretty much it for today's episode. I think I can't think of anything else, but yeah. Actually, wait, let's see. No, I think we'll save all the programming for the next episode. So today was purely based on UI design and getting our leaderboard ready. It doesn't look really bad. That doesn't really look bad that much. So I don't know if we might change the backgrounds to actual images. Well, I'll have a look and see. We might do that in the next video as well, just so you can see how I make the pictures and stuff for the games. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode in a couple of days. So thanks again, and goodbye.